What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel for another MMA YouTube video. Today we got the rankings and ratings updates for UFC 317. All right, it's Tuesday. The official rankings just dropped. Basically, what this is, quick explanation, we have a spreadsheet for this channel that I've made. It's in the description of this video. It's in the description of every video. It's in our channel description. It has every important fighter from flyweight to light heavyweight, and it has their ranking if they're in the top 15 or our ranking for them if they're not in the top 15. You'll see, just look at the spreadsheet, you'll kind of understand what I'm saying. And then a rating, an overall rating and attribute ratings akin to like Madden or FIFA, every important fighter in the UFC, and that's what this video is. We're going to talk about the changes to that spreadsheet from UFC 317. We are going to talk about pretty much every single fighter that fought on that card, or every, fighter that changed or was relevant. And yeah, let's just get right into it with the biggest riser, Joshua Van. This needs no explanation, in my opinion. He was number 11. He went to number 1. That's what that blue means. If the ranking is blue, that means it went up. If it's orange, it went down. If it's white, it stayed the same for the overall rating, or for the ratings in general. If it's green, it went up. If it's red, it went down. If it's white, it stayed the same. Once again, you'll see more as we go through the video. But, yeah, dude, Van just showed that he's that guy. He showed that he's on that level. Now, you could go check out the overall spreadsheet. We'll talk about Pantoja later in this video, but that upper echelon of flyweight, he isn't quite the same as those guys. Those guys are 95, 96, 97 overall, because he just hasn't showed that he's as well-rounded as the guys like Moreno, Royval, and Pantoja. But he's shown that he can strike and keep the pace with the best of them, which is exactly where those raises in striking and condition come from. He showed that he can strike with the best of them. I mean, Royval is one of the better strikers in the UFC and in the flyweight division, and he beat him on the feet, and he kept a pace with him. And Royval has the best pace, period, in the flyweight division, and if it wasn't for Merab, he would have the best pace in the UFC, probably. So, yeah, just overall stupidly impressive for Joshua Van. This is the biggest rise we've ever had on this channel. +8 from one fight is insane. The closest, I would say, is actually one guy who fought on this card, who we'll get to later, and then, freaking John Silva after he beat Bryce Mitchell, but that was only +6. Same with the other guy on this card. That was +6. This is +8. Insane. But it's totally warranted, in my opinion. If you disagree, let me know. I'd love to argue with somebody about it. But yeah, he just looked unbelievable, showed that he's an upper echelon flyweight, and I'm excited to see that title shot against Pantoja, even though I do think he might get squashed like a bug. But we'll see. Next, we're going to talk about the biggest losers. Now, these are the only guys who I thought went down, whose overalls went down from this card, so that's one good thing. And they're not big hits to the overall. Like, -2 for the biggest losers is nothing. Usually it's 3+, but yeah, -2. Let's start with Slava Claus, because he's the less relevant one. He's just, his grappling is shit, and it's like showing to be more and more shit. Everyone knew it was shit. I knew it was shit, but it's like, geez, do something, man. That those overalls might even be, those ratings might even be a little generous. Like, he literally had nothing. And I know this is from the Hooper fight, not the McKinney fight. I just think it's a picture that perfectly just shows what his career has been and what the state he is in right now. Also, his ranking went down. He's the number 60 ranked lightweight at this point because he just hasn't been winning. So that's what that is there. Number 60 is extremely low. That's nearly as, I think we have 67 lightweights. So, yeah. That gives you an idea. And then Oliveira, I think he's been showing he's on the decline. People might disagree with this. I do not mean this to discredit Ilia at all, and I think you will get that once again when you get to the end of this video. We're going to talk about Ilia towards the end, but it's not to discredit Ilia. It's Charles has looked like shit in his last 2 fights. I mean, the Chandler fight, he looked like fucking Duke, and that was a bad fight. People act like that fight was good. It just wasn't a good fight, and Charles didn't look good. And he almost lost, cheating or not, almost lost to Michael Chandler. Look what Patty just did to Michael Chandler. Like, you shouldn't be losing to Michael Chandler in this day and age. And, I don't know, yeah, just rough to watch from Oliveira, and now he just gets slept out cold for the first time in his career. Gotta say he's on the downturn, right? I mean, is there any other conclusion I can draw from that? Maybe -2 is a little harsh. Maybe I should have only done -1, or, like, one other guy who I believe is on the downturn, I gave -1. I said these are the only lowerings in this video. That's not true. There's one more, but I don't know, bro. With Oliveira, it seems like he's slipping. I lowered his striking by, I think, 2, and I lowered his grappling by 1, because the grappling, he just looked weak on the ground. He didn't look like he was pursuing anything. Like, he went for a leg lock, but he wasn't really pursuing it. His striking needs no explanation. He looks slower, period. He looks slower. He threw hit him Topuria with a nice elbow. He threw a nice teep, but overall, wasn't really in the fight at all and got slept out cold in 2 minutes. So, yeah, gotta lower him, and I gotta imagine there's just not much left for his career. Like, there's not much success left. I think he might even struggle with the Poiriers and Gaethjes, who he beat in the past. So, yeah, we did struggle with in those fights as well. So, yeah, minor changes. We got 3 slides of minor changes to get through. Then we're gonna cap it off with the people who stagnated, or one guy who stagnated. But yeah, very minor change for Pantoja here, going up to 97 from 96, really joining elite company, right? We do not have, especially currently, but of all time, we do not have many guys who are 97 or higher, and Pantoja has joined that club. I think he showed improvements in his striking. He was much more aggressive. He seemed more creative with his striking, and it seemed like, against a guy who has really good striking, KKF, who might have shelled up a little, he dominated him on the feet. I mean, the strike numbers are fucking insane for this fight. I don't get it with the stats. It says Pantoja outlanded him 42-38. Dude, Pantoja outlanded him like 42-4. KKF didn't land a strike. It felt like he landed 2 strikes, 3 or 4 strikes. Like, Pantoja dominated him. And so, minor improvement. I think I gave him, he was at an 87, now he's at an 89 striking. But I feel like it's enough. I feel like it warrants a boost in his overall. He's literally improving in front of our eyes. He's improving his grappling too, but I don't think his grappling is improving enough for me to up his grappling overall. Because if you go look at the stats in there, it's already stupid high. So yeah, man, I love Pantoja. He's one of my favorite fighters. I have a Pantoja shirt. He's one of my favorites, and he's literally improving in front of our eyes at 35 at flyweight after having the belt for 3 title defenses, now 4. Like, unbelievable stuff from Alexandre Pantoja. Can't hate this guy. If you do, you're a fucking weirdo. All right. Now, this is what I was referencing earlier. The fact that we have a +6 in minor changes just because he wasn't the biggest riser is crazy. But he wasn't the biggest riser, so I'm putting it in here. But this is by no means a minor change. Payton Talbott proved to me that he is really good. I don't know. Like, he proved to me that he can hang with pretty much ranked level bantamweights, which is what I think Felipe Lima is. Maybe I'm overrating Felipe Lima. I don't think I am. I watch the fights. I watch Felipe Lima. I think I know what I'm looking at, and I think I see a guy in Felipe Lima who is truly ranked level with a lot of mental errors. He made multiple against Payton Talbott, which is why Felipe Lima is still at an 85 overall, higher than Payton Talbott, because I do think he's better. I just think he made a lot of really dumb mistakes in this fight that are totally fixable. But Talbott, dude, just showed that his grappling is still really good and showed that he can go 3 rounds at a pretty high pace. Now, Lima was, like I said, doing a lot of dumb bullshit, which Payton Talbott was able to capitalize on without utilizing a lot of energy, but still, he went at a decent pace for 3 rounds in the grappling and on the feet. Took some good shots from Lima, and just showed improvements in the grappling. Now, I think the +6 is like, he didn't really have a +6 overall. Like, he didn't improve by 6 really in this fight. It was more just proving to me, where I rated his grappling just so low, that no, it's actually there. It's actually really good, and he actually is a problem and can compete at bantamweight. So, love to see it from Talbott. He looked really good. And then Moicano, he's kind of like Oliveira, where it's a clear physical downturn. He is clearly just worse off. Maybe there's an injury, but dude, there can't be an injury every fucking fight with this guy. You know what I mean? Like, at that point, that is lowering your overall too. That goes into the condition stat. The durability, and if you go look, the overall, the attributes get broken down into smaller attributes, and part of the condition stat is the durability stat. And injuries go into that. If this guy's coming into every fucking fight with his shoulder messed up, and he's taken 2 years off after the Riddell fight, or a year and a half off after the Riddell fight, and this type of stuff, like, that goes into it. And when you can't stay healthy and you show up looking like that, which was bad, like, he looked fucking terrible against Beneil, looked solid in round 1, then just looked like he didn't know what he was doing. And Beneil is an incredible fighter. He's also one of my favorite fighters. But Moicano just looked like he was, I don't know. He looked like he was in there for a paycheck, or he just looked lost, man. So, strange performance from Moicano. Just minor lowerings across the board. As you can see, every attribute is red and his ranking is orange, meaning he did move down a couple spots in the rankings. Just truly strange fight from Moicano. And it's a little worrying. I'm not going to lie. It is a little worrying for his future. Which I just don't think there is much of. So, yeah. Here we just got a couple prospects to talk about. Not much with Jacoby Smith. It's just like it's very. I don't even know if I want to call it an increase in level in competition, but he beat a different style, right? He beat Preston Parsons, who's like a very one note pressure wrestler. Then he beat Nico Price, who's like a wily, crafty vet who has some pop and creative striking, right? So he's beaten these two different styles of pretty low level welterweights, but he's beaten them very convincingly. Didn't look the best against Nico Price, but he did beat him very convincingly. So just a minor bump up for Jacoby Smith here. I'm really looking forward to a jump in competition for him. I didn't do matchmaking for this card, but I'm thinking you give him a actually pretty significant jump. You give him one of those guys who might be closer to like the 15 to 30 range, whereas you can see he's only at 43 right now. Let's get him up there. I think he's ready for it. Yeah, and then Jose Delgado, actually pretty interesting with Jose Delgado. So he beat Haider Emil, who for me at least was insanely high ranked. I believe I had Haider Emil at around 17 at featherweight. So since Delgado beat him, he moved up to not quite to 17, but he moved up to 19, moved up very high, absolutely smoked him. Just as you can see, just improves in the striking because he didn't show any grappling or condition really. He just fucking smoked him in the first round in 30 seconds really with a knee. But I don't know. I was really high on Delgado going into the Contender Series. Thought he was really good, well trained. Comes in, won his Contender Series fight convincingly. Won his debut with a sick KO. Won his second fight with a sick KO. Definitely looks like a guy who's on the up and up and also is now really high in those rankings. So he could honestly, if the UFC was legit, he could look for a fucking ranked shot right now. That's what a win over Haider Emil, in my opinion, does. Because Haider Emil beat William Gomi, who beat Joe Anderson Brito, who was on the fucking brink of the rankings. So yeah, I could totally see Delgado getting a ranked shot here. And I think, I don't know if I'd say he's ready. Those ranked dudes at featherweight are not 79 overalls. Those guys are fucking like 83, 84. Well, actually, some of them might be easier matchups than others. But, yeah. So, two prospects here. Just getting incremental increases from solid wins. And, yeah. Now, we're going to end off keeping it Peter. What this... I don't want to fucking explain it, why it's Italian. It's just... I'm not going to explain it. Basically, what this means is guys who stayed the same, but I feel like they're worth talking about they're worth talking about them staying the same, right? Most of the fighters on the card stayed the same, right? RoboCop, Hermanson, Rival... Dariush, they all stayed the same. You can, if you want to look into their in-depth breakdowns in the spreadsheet and their overall ratings and stuff, you can go look at the spreadsheet. But I want to talk about Ilia staying the same because I feel like I don't want this to be like shitting on Ilia because it's not. He's unbelievable. As you can see, 98 overall, and he's about as close as you can get to 99 without being 99, right? We've only had... If you go look at the far right of the spreadsheet, we have a legacy tab, the furthest tab to the right, and that's where we have like fighters from UFC history. And I believe we have 499 overalls in the history of the UFC, and that is Demetrius Johnson, primes of all these fighters, of course, Demetrius Johnson, John Jones, and Alexander Volkanovski. So I actually think it's 3. I believe those are the 3 99 overall perfect fighters. Because that's what it is. And Ilia is getting there, man. I just gotta see. If I see him, if he beats Arman, he's 99. If he beats Arman, yeah. If he beats Arman, he's 99. I gotta see that. But, yeah, dude. There's just not much to say here. He's unbelievable. As you can see, 99 striking. Is that a debate? Right? 98 condition. Is that the guy seems like he can't be fucking hurt. He can't be rocked. He seems like he can just march forward. Never really has any injury issues. Never has weight cut problems. Just perfect physical condition. The grappling still has questions, of course. The grappling looked fucking great in this fight. In the limited stuff we saw. 99 striking is just... I don't see anyone beating him on the feet. His power is so deadly. His boxing is so precise. His shifts are beautiful. The way he builds power and momentum into his shots is perfect. His fights are perfection. I mean, it's hard to find criticisms, and that's why he's at a 98 overall. Yeah, unbelievable run. As you can see, CLW, that means champion at lightweight, because he's not just the champion, he's the champion in his second weight class. So I had to include that there. Yeah, dude, Ilia's special. He is a truly special fighter. We're thankful to have him. I'm really excited for whatever his next fight is going to be. I wouldn't even be mad if it's fucking like Gaethje or some shit. I know a lot of people would, but like, I don't know. I'd rather. This is such a strange thing. I don't even know if I really feel this way. I'd have to think about it more. But I'd rather Gaethje does something than fucking retires. You know what I mean? Like, get as much as you can out of him before he retires. And that's if Ilia and Arman don't. And Patty and Arman. But Patty doesn't deserve a fucking title shot, so don't. I don't care if it's a big fight. Like, he just doesn't deserve one. Arman really deserves it the most. I get it. He pulled out last minute and the weight issues and the back bullshit, but he deserves the title shot. Really, and that would be the best for Ilia's legacy, undoubtedly. But if you got to give it to Gaethje, it is what it is. I really want to see Ilia Islam. I believe they are the only two 98 overall. They are definitely the only two 98 overall guys in the UFC right now. You can go look at our pound for pound list that we have in the spreadsheet as well if you want to check that out. But they're 98s. Volk and Pantoja are 97s, I believe. I could be actually totally fucking wrong on that. That would be embarrassing. Go fact check me. But yeah, that's going to do it. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm not looking forward to whatever the next card is because I don't fucking know what it is. It's probably an Apex card or some bullshit. So yeah, I'm actually not looking forward to it. But we'll have some videos coming out hopefully soon. Goodbye.